Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Grant Ellis, the former Bachelor, opened up about his romance with Juliana Pasquarosa just 4 weeks before they called off their engagement. Grant, who allegedly moved to Boston to be with Juliana, adding, "She's spending a lot of time with them and with me. We're just getting started with taking things slowly and moving together." Grant and Juliana, 28, got engaged at the season finale of The Bachelor, which aired in March. Less than 3 months later, they announced their split. This is one of the most difficult things I've had to write, but I want to share it honestly. Juliana and I have decided to end our relationship, Grant stated on his Instagram stories on Friday, June 13th. We both gave it our all and poured a lot of love into each other, but after many lengthy conversations, we realized that we're simply not the right fit long-term. After many honest conversations and reflections, we've decided that this chapter of our lives should continue on separate paths, she said on Friday. We shared something meaningful, navigating a unique road together, and learning, maturing, and showing up for one another as best we knew how. While this isn't the ending we had hoped for, it is one full of mutual respect, care, and optimism for the future. Grant faced backlash during his season for telling Juliana and runner-up Lishagar that he was in love with them before deciding to propose to the Boston native. Even after Grant and Juliana ended the show, they faced internet criticism. People will always have something to say. So, in response to the tough comments, Grant advised us to lead with love. That is what Jules and I are particularly good at. So whatever people say, they don't know for sure. When The Bachelor season 29 ended in March, viewers watched in awe as Grant Ellis knelt on one knee in a stunning Costa Rican setting and asked Juliana Pasquarosa to marry him. The moment was painted with picture-perfect sincerity, an orchestration of tropical breezes, tears, roses, and a promise for forever. For a few brief weeks, Bachelor Nation reveled in the fantasy, rooting for what looked like a rare success story in a franchise where relationships often struggle to withstand the pressures of real life. However, less than 3 months later, that fantasy unraveled, leaving both Grant and Juliana to navigate a breakup under the watchful eye of millions. Their post-show journey began with cautious optimism. Grant, a charismatic 31-year-old entrepreneur from Denver, shocked fans when he revealed he was relocating to Boston to be closer to Juliana. Though the move was not officially confirmed in the days immediately following the finale, subtle hints were dropped throughout their early interviews. "She's spending a lot of time with them, and with me," Grant said in an Instagram Q&A, referring to Juliana's family. "We're just getting started with taking things slowly and moving together." The couple didn't jump straight into cohabitation. Instead, they seemed to be treading thoughtfully, blending their lives piece by piece. Grant was often spotted in Boston's Back Bay, attending local charity events and coffee shop openings, while Juliana continued to work part-time as a behavioral therapist for children with autism. On the surface, it seemed like they were building something real, something that could last beyond the glittering promise of televised love. Yet underneath the surface, things weren't as seamless as they appeared. Rumors of trouble started swirling just weeks after their finale aired. The couple's once frequent Instagram posts began to dwindle. Their affectionate comments under each other's photos became sparse. Fans noticed that they no longer liked each other's posts consistently. Bachelor Nation, ever observant, began speculating. By early June, the tension could no longer be ignored. Then came the joint announcement, dropped late on a Friday night via Instagram stories. The tone was respectful, the words carefully chosen, but the underlying emotion was undeniable. "This is one of the most difficult things I've had to write," Grant began, "but I want to share it honestly. Juliana and I have decided to end our relationship. We both gave it our all and poured a lot of love into each other, but after many lengthy conversations, we realized that we're simply not the right fit long-term." Juliana echoed his sentiments in a heartfelt message of her own. "After many honest conversations and reflections, we've decided that this chapter of our lives should continue on separate paths. We shared something meaningful, navigating a unique road together, and learning, maturing, and showing up for one another as best we knew how. While this isn't the ending we had hoped for, it is one full of mutual respect, care, and optimism for the future. The messages quickly went viral. Bachelor fan accounts reposted the announcements within minutes. Reddit threads filled with speculation, empathy, and of course, harsh criticism. Some blamed the show's format, arguing that expecting a lasting relationship from a whirlwind romance on national television was naive. Others pointed fingers at Grant or Juliana, trying to decipher who was more at fault. The truth, as is often the case, was far more nuanced. Grant faced considerable backlash during his season, especially for telling both Juliana and runner-up Lisha Gar that he was in love with them. The moment was framed by producers as an emotional high point, but viewers were divided. Some felt it was a vulnerable display of how messy love can be, while others saw it as manipulative and confusing. Even Juliana, in post-show interviews, admitted that learning he had said those same 3 words to someone else stung more than she had anticipated. Despite the controversy, Juliana chose to accept his proposal, believing in the connection they had built. In the bubble, it felt real. Even after the cameras were gone, we were still trying, she said during a podcast appearance. That's what makes this even harder. The criticism didn't stop after the breakup. Online commentators speculated that Juliana was using Grant for fame or that Grant wasn't ready to settle down. These armchair analysts, often hiding behind anonymous profiles, made public healing all the more difficult. People will always have something to say, Grant later told a fan in a private comment that was screenshotted and shared. So, in response to the tough comments, I advise you to lead with love. That is what Jules and I were particularly good at. So whatever people say, they don't know for sure. Juliana, too, handled the public scrutiny with grace. In a TikTok she posted shortly after the announcement, she sat in her bedroom, makeup-free and wrapped in a sweatshirt, softly addressing her followers. Sometimes love isn't enough. We tried really hard. This isn't about blame. It's about growth. And peace. As more details emerged, it became clear that neither Grant nor Juliana had done anything to sabotage the relationship. The issue wasn't infidelity or betrayal, it was a slow, painful realization that their visions for the future didn't align. Grant, who had spent most of his adult life traveling for work and managing a budding wellness brand, began to crave stability. He talked openly about wanting to start a family within a few years, perhaps even move to a quieter suburb where he could raise kids and work remotely. Juliana, on the other hand, still felt rooted to her community in Boston. She had recently enrolled in graduate courses to pursue her master's degree in psychology and wasn't quite ready to leave the city she loved. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.